I really, really appreciate your support. All right, let me get to my next call. All right, caller, who do we have on the line?
This is Academy Award-winning filmmaker Michael Moore. How you doing, sir?
All right, Michael Moore, what's happening?
I hope that you're all having a great night and that you listen and believe. And I believe tickets are right now, they're mostly $9 on average across the nation. So take yours and your loved ones to see a great film, Fahrenheit 11/9, in theaters. And if you want, you might pick up, maybe a bucket of popcorn, maybe another bucket, maybe, 45 minutes later, you just walk back there and get another one. Anyway, what's going on with you tonight, sir?
Everything is good. I can't complain too much. So what is this movie about that you have coming out? I'm not quite sure I know too much about it.
Well, as you know, Anthony, most of the Americans are pretty stupid. And unlike various countries around us, such as Cuba, Mexico, Canada, and, of course, Panama, which is divided in half so that they don't kill each other, we have people who are completely ignorant. And in the past 2 years, they have elected basically a person who is pretty much slated to destroy the planet. I believe that this was predicted in Superman 1 in the character played by Gene Hackman named Lex Luthor. Only nowadays they just changed his hairstyle and he goes by one Donald Trump.
I can't say that I agree that most Americans are what you described. I think that people voted for Donald Trump because that's who they wanted, to make America great again. Just because you disagree with that does not mean that you're right and they're wrong.
You will kneel before Zod, Anthony. That's, what are you talking about? You didn't see the movie, did you?
Zod, I don't know anything about that. I don't know what's going on in your world that you've made up in your mind, your fictional place you live. I have no clue.
Anyway, I guess what are the other burning issues right now? I'm trying to keep warm. I'm burning these stacks of Venezuelan money that I invested in back in 2011. So
speaking of money investment, do you think that Donald Trump is a tax evader like the New York Times is trying to say?
Look, I don't know why you would ask me questions about tax evasion. It's not as if I'm trying to basically write off everything that I owed and that I've been hiding money from my wife, who divorced me 4 years ago and who was supposed to get 4% of my total revenue, but I only paid $541 to. But, I suppose, he's following the Luthor playbook, so I'd assume yes.
Well, it seems like you are doing the exact thing that you just said Trump is doing. Since you pay such a small amount of money to your ex-wife, I mean, it seems like whatever kind of scheme you're running is more powerful and impactful than anything Trump is being accused of.
No, you're really viewing it in a very shallow way, Mr. Logan. You see, my wife didn't know when we were coming into our marriage that I was a victim myself. I know you had a lot of victims call up, and I'll tell you a little story about my victimhood. You see, in the summer of 1975, I was at a drive-through over in Owensboro, Kentucky, on my way from, of course, Flint, Michigan. Flint strong, everybody. And I was at this drive-through, and it just, one of my friends was in the front seat, and then it just snuck up on me, and there was a whole bucket of it, and then a leg, and then a thigh. Everything just came into my mouth, and I was like, "Damn you, Colonel Sanders! I'm your prisoner forever." And I've been unable to escape it since. And my damn wife can never accept it either. So I hope that you can understand it, Mr. Logan, even though you, of course, seem to be in very good physical shape, sir, if I may say so. So yeah, I think, you're kind of conflating two things that have nothing to do with each other. Trump's tax problems and my victimization by the great KFC stomach raper.
Okay, I'll just take that story and just put it in my pocket and move right along. Now, you got this movie out, you got this new documentary, whatever you want to call it. How do you feel about Dinesh D'Souza? Because I just saw in my chat somebody said that his movie made twice as much as yours, Death of America. How do you feel about that? Do you think that?
Yeah. I feel very. I think he disgraces the form. Documentary filmmaking. Dinesh D'Souza. The Death of America. He's taking a tragedy and trying to make a lot of money off of it. It's not as if people have ever done that before. I mean, it's ridiculous. Imagine the next thing he's going to do. He's going to make a film about, a group of teenagers over in Colorado that murdered a bunch of their classmates, and then he's going to harass Charlton Heston while he's dying of Alzheimer's. You see, he'll do that because nobody else has ever done that before.
Sir, your one of your first or ones that I saw was Columbine.
Sorry, I can't hear you over the bucket.
One of your biggest. Wait a minute, sir. You gotta stop eating. One of your biggest documentaries, at least the first one I saw, was called Bowling for Columbine. Does that ring a bell?
Real short, and yeah, I can't focus on you in the bucket at the same time.
Bowling for Columbine. Does that ring a bell?
Yes, that was an amazing film, and of course, that film it solved the gun violence problem in the country as well. It's not as if people are dying of gun violence because, of course, gun laws have succeeded everywhere that they've been passed. You never see anybody murdered on the streets of Brazil or in Mexico, the greatest country on the planet, except for the northern part of Panama. And, it's really time people... They took the lessons from the film and stopped, living in their own fantasy world. Okay?
Sir, I think you need to follow your own advice because you see all types of very violent crimes in Latin America, especially Mexico. I mean, you see it right at the border. You'll have a lot of violent crime right there at the border, but you come across the border into the USA, the best country on planet Earth, and those things don't happen like they do across the border. So you gotta tighten up your facts there a little bit, boss.
Look, Anthony, I think you're making light of very serious concepts that you don't know very much about. Seeing as, of course, you're not a very socially aware person. Look, there's a lot of horrible tragedies going around in the world. Look at a country like Cuba that we should emulate. Of course, they don't have rack of lamb every night, and they don't have as much asparagus as you could probably fill a whole warehouse with, and they don't have this huge mountain of butter next to me and the lobster and everything. And it's true. I was there and I saw people having to take their dad's old Hustler magazines and tape them into baseball mitts in order to play baseball. But they do have universal health care. And I think that, I feel that I can see that you're green with envy, sir. So, maybe you should be a little more humble.
I'm all right, boss, but I thank you for the advice. Really appreciate it.
All right. Anyway, I would like to remind everybody that all of my videos are available on, of course, Betamax, Laserdisc, Blu-ray, VHS, and oh my God, another bucket they just brought over here. Jeez, Anthony. Anyway, have a great night, everybody, and resist the bucket.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate it. All right. That was Michael Moore. That was not a troll. That was not somebody that was just joking and whatnot. That was really him for real. So, hey, man, celebrities call in. Sometimes you don't agree, but it's all good. All right.